When someone says the name USS Enterprise, in reference to Trek at least, generally the ships that come to mind is the NX-01 Enterprise, the USS Enterprise, the USS Enterprise A, the USS Enterprise D, and the USS Enterprise E. Insert TNG Scotty reference clip here. However, there are two ships that do not get enough love in my opinion, especially when they played vital roles in the history of the Federation. I speak of course of the Enterprise B and the Enterprise C. For the purposes of this conversation, I'm not going to be including the Enterprise J, as I'm not convinced it was an actual Federation ship, and I know, that's a debate for another time. The USS Enterprise, NCC-1701-B, was a refit Excelsior-class ship that launched around 2293 under the command of Captain John Harriman. In what I like to deem the Intrepid-class policy, the Enterprise B would be launched without key facilities and systems including photon torpedoes, tractor beams, medical staff, and gelato machines. Because none of that is necessary when a ship goes into space when you think about it. I mean, to be fair, why would you really need to prepare for any major catastrophes? You're only launching this ship with the media, several high-ranking officers, and public figures which include James T. Kirk, Montgomery Scott, and Pavel Chekhov, so it would barely be a blip on the screen if anything bad happened anyway, right? Oh, and on a side note, and this isn't connected at all, did you know that Earth is one of the most integral parts of the Federation? I mean, it's where the government's capital is, the location of Starfleet Command, and where the Federation's president and council are located. This is also where Space Dock, which is also known as Starbase 1, Fuck Off Discovery, was stationed and would regularly have over 20 ships at it. In fact, Earth was considered to be so important to the existence of the Federation that the Borg launched an attack against it. Twice. Anyway, sorry to sidetrack. Back to the Enterprise B, the Sol system where Earth is located was so lightly defended that a ship that didn't even have photon torpedoes was the only ship in range to answer a distress call that could reach Earth. The USS Enterprise B would indeed attempt to save the SS LeCoultre and the SS Robert Fox. The two ships were trapped in an anomaly known as the Nexus. Now this was an energy distortion field that was also known to be magic. Because Starfleet literally did not have any other ship in range in one of the most vital areas of Federation space, the SS Robert Fox would be destroyed with all hands on board killed. That's 265 souls for those keeping count. And only 47 survivors of 150 people would be saved from the SS LeCoultre. Luckily, they had medical staff that would be able to assist. Oh, wait. Now, for this rescue attempt to have worked, the Enterprise B would have had to have moved within transporter range. And after saving what survivors they could, the Enterprise B got caught itself. In order to escape, the Enterprise utilized a resonant burst to simulate an antimatter explosion. Unfortunately, the deflector would need to be changed in deflector control. The captain ordered an engineer specifically trained to handle deflector control to resolve the issue. The captain would contact someone who was closer to deflector control than who was on the bridge to save time. Would send someone not a hero of the Federation. Would send Scotty, given that he's an actual fucking engineer. Would send Captain Kirk to save the day. Of course, Kirk would be killed when a discharge hit the exact point where he was, and that's just bad luck. Unfortunately, we don't know the exact fate of the Enterprise B, though given the fate of most other ships with the same name, it was probably a bad one. Speaking of ships that give justification for why Starfleet officers should have their wishes put down on paper before they leave space dock, the Enterprise NCC-1701-C has very little information in the way of alpha canon and what actually happened in the Prime universe. We do know that the ship had Rachel Garrett as the commanding officer, Richard Castillo as the helmsman, and someone named Fredericks, though what he did is unknown. Now to be fair, what we know in canon isn't really all that fleshed out. What we do know is that the Enterprise C was integral in cementing an alliance between the Klingon Empire and the Federation. How it did this is that the Enterprise C would answer a distress call and attempt to defend the Klingons against a Romulan attack. During that time, the ship would slip through a rift, creating an alternate timeline where the Federation was being dominated by the Klingon Empire. A breakdown of this video and fight can be found in the top right-hand corner. But beyond that, we don't know much more, and I sincerely wish there was more information, but quite frankly, there isn't. Beta canon resources tell us that the Enterprise B was lost and everyone possibly died of plague, and the Enterprise C may have been included in a few games, but with nothing substantial added to its backstory. I may try to go into the beta canon at a later date. Ultimately, these ships do have some interesting backgrounds that are worthy of exploring. Maybe they'll decide to include them in the upcoming series. But these are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Hey guys, special shout out to Eagle Moss who sent me a lovely model of the Enterprise B. I'll say this, while I like most all of their models, their XL versions are always completely awesome. If you want a model that is worthy of setting on your shelf, definitely consider. Link in the description below. As always, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.